Revelation 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth, and them which dwell therein, to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty.
Good afternoon, everybody. And it's been a minute. It's been more than a week since I've had fellowship here, but nonetheless, thank you for being here. For those who are here, if you're catching a restream of it or a replay rather, I thank you for lending me your ears to hear the message of the day. But before we go to that, let's go ahead and let me see if I can go here. Oops, I forgot to change that. We'll go here for now. So today's random read, we'll start off with that. Today's random read comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verses 16 through 42. Sheep among wolves. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you with their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother of death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up again against their parents, and cause them to be put to death. I can't read today. And ye shall be heated, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth to the end shall be saved. But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them of his household? Fear them not therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a farthing? And one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear ye not therefore, ye are more valuable than many sparrows. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father, which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father, which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter in law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. He that receiveth you receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. And he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. And whosoever shall give drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water, only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward. Once again, this random read comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 10, from verses 16 to 42, entitled Sheep Among Wolves. You know, this this read is very appropriate for the times that we're living in right now, and also comes up with it's perfect with the topic of discussion, because I think we're at a turning point now. I think now things are going to get more aggressive as far as these changes, not only in this country but the whole world. I've tapped into other people's channels to hear the things that they I guess report on what they talk about, and it seems to me that this one world government is definitely it's happening already. Things are happening. People just people don't see it because they don't pay attention, and they're all caught up with their own lives. And even those people who are, quote, in the know or know what's going on, they still believe that each country is sovereign. I think sovereignty has been lost a long time ago. That's just my opinion. But there's something I really want to talk about, that I think is going to get more aggressive as time goes forward. And it has to deal with today's random read, which is the persecution of people who follow the doctrine of the biblical Christ. Are we prepared for this? I know for the past, I don't know, at least for me, since 2020, I've been trying to build up my relationship with Christ. I've been doing all I can with prayer. I have to admit, prayer, reading scripture, but I have to admit, when it comes to fasting, I'm very weak at that. I'm not going to lie. I mean, there have been a few times where I did fast, but I can't go for some. It's not for some reason. I know why. I know why it is because I give into the flesh so easily. But I tend to fail. I can't go past a day and a half. I'll still try, but I know the flesh still wins when it comes to me. I try to walk this straight path, And I know I have to deny the flesh every so often, but, I think I've said this before, that every time I have a battle with the flesh has more wins than my spirit does. But at least I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Anyhow, so I wanted to talk about the persecution of Christians not only in this country but around the world. I do have a few articles here that I want to share with everybody as it pertains to today's random read for sure. And unfortunately, I think many of our enemies are not those who are obviously our enemies, the non-believers or the people who rebuke Christ. I think it is true that our own enemies are going to come within our own brethren, our own home, the people who are closest to us. I mean, it only makes sense. That's a fear of mine. And it should be a fear for everybody out there. Because that's a very hard spot to be in. You do all you can to have this great relationship with Christ, but then the person that you love, the person that you build a life with, or whatever the case may be, those are probably going to be the people that will make you or break you. But it's something that we have to face. We have to be prepared for that. For me, that's going to be a hard thing because I love my family. Nonetheless, let me see what's going on. Everybody hates Raymond. It's nice to see you out there. Let me read all these things that you've been typing out here. Man, you've been typing a lot. Yunuka with zero charisma, meh. Let the Jays choose their own Antichrist, not buying it. The dark horse at the gates. But at that time, the great counselor will instruct us what to say. Yes, as far as that read from the book of Matthew, yes. At this juncture in time, I am resolved to thinking that the true revelation about the book of Revelation is that none of it was ordained by God, but rather what man brings upon himself and his action. That's an interesting take. I think all the books in Scripture have been ordained by God. I could be wrong, but I definitely think that it has been ordained by God. I think it's just a testimonial account of what happens when God removes his mighty hand of protection and lets the world succumb to its reprobate minds. We're seeing that in real time already, right? God is allowing these people to succumb to their own reprobate minds. We see it. We see it, man. These people are they've lost it. There's no sense of, there's no common sense anymore. There's no self-control. It's definitely do as thou wilt. The days that we're living in right now. It's nuts. We're definitely living in these times where people are willingly choosing to do destructive things to themselves. So let them raise the third temple with a genetically bred red calf from Texas. I don't care, because clearly these are acts of evil men, not God, creating the signs. Over the last 3 years, many have noticed that days pass like minutes, months like weeks, years pass like months. Difficult to believe the quickening could be more severe. And I totally agree with you on how time has been moving very fast. Time has definitely been moving very fast. I have to agree with that for sure. Weak vessels in our own lives. Exactly, isolate yourselves from the world all you want. The devil will torment you through a fly or pet. Not necessarily. When I'm trying I think what you meant to say is what I'm trying to say is I don't think the things that come to pass in Revelation are by God's determination, but by the will of evil men and just a testament of actions that are to come. So what you're saying is that they're creating it. Men are creating it. I think there could be truth to that because it's written already, right? It's written already and they could just be following a script. I agree with that statement, but that's not to say that God didn't see these things coming, you know? So I guess it's working both ways. It's already been prophesied and they're definitely following a script as far as man goes. So I agree with that. All right. So I'm going to share this article. I have a few articles, like I said. Let me go ahead and share the first one here because the random read lines exactly up with what I want to talk about today. So let me go ahead and share this here real quick. This one comes from releaseinternational.org. And the title reads Christian Persecution 2023 set to rise in Nigeria, India, and China. So I'm going to read this for you guys because this connects perfectly with the random read. So I guess there's some kind of article there. You can read that on your own. I'll share the link on the description box after I read this, or I'll share the link on the chats. Annual persecution trends report highlights in Nigeria, India, China, and Iran as countries of growing concern in 2023. Pardon me. Nigeria, India, and China are highlighted as countries of growing concern where the persecution of Christians looks set to increase in 2023. It's increasing by the day, not just by the year, according to the Release International's latest persecution trends report. UK-based Release International has just published its annual report based on findings from its partners in the world's worst persecution hotspots. The country of concern for the coming year in Nigeria, where violence is growing along with demands to divide the nation. There are fears that Nigeria's presidential election is in 2023 could be a step on the way to the breakup of the nation. Every indication suggests Nigeria is at a pivotal point in its history, says Release International's partner in that country. The election in 2023 will determine whether the nation grows as an entity or disintegrates. Release International partners say pressure is building from Islamists in the north, including terrorist groups, for an independent Islamic state. The call for secession is now being echoed by southern regional ethnic groups. They believe splitting away from Nigeria would give them autonomy from what is looking increasingly like a failed state. Overshadowing these challenges are President attacks against predominantly Christian communities in the Middle Belt region. The Release International associates say persecution, which has figured predominantly in the north, is now spreading to the central and southern regions. Terror groups Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa continue to defy the authorities, and Fulani militant attack Christian villages with impunity. In 2022, reports indicate Fulani extremists killed more than 6,000 Christians and destroyed 17 villages. The violence has driven more than 2 million people from their homes, Along with that has come increasing lawlessness. Kidnapping for ransom has now become the has become the major money earner for terrorist groups, while the numbers of victims of rape and people living with disabilities due to attacks continue to grow among the Christian communities, says Release International's partner. Hundreds of thousands of children in these Christian villages are unable to go to school or access good education. Nigeria's election in February will be followed in March by election for governorship, the assembly, and the Senate. There are concerns that Nigeria's next president may be unable to govern effectively because the grip of northern political Islamists on the country. Release International's partners in Nigeria warn minority tribes who are predominantly Christian will continue to be persecuted. They will be forced to live as second-class citizens in the north, which has an agenda to make the nation an Islamic state. Whichever way the election goes, Nigeria as a nation is in need of a miracle. Release International's CEO Paul Robinson says, please pray for peace, for the elections in 2023 and political developments that would help bring an end to the violence against Christians. Pray also for protection for Christian communities across Nigeria. China. Persecution is set to increase in China in 2023. Warn Release International partners operating in that country. They believe Christians will come under even greater pressure in the coming year to demonstrate unswerving allegiance to the Premier Xi Jinping by rejecting the Christian faith. And I'm going to touch on the outrageous idea that the Communist Chinese Party they're planning on rewriting the Bible. And I'm going to talk about, I found like a little short article on that. And I'm going to share that with you guys as well. The government under Xi Jinping want to control everything. They see Christianity as not fully under their control. Christianity is depicted as unacceptable in this atheistic communist country. Atheists are so miserable, aren't they? They're so unhappy. They're such unhappy people. And they refuse to let anybody else feel happy. They want people miserable with them. That's what I've noticed about atheists. Official communications drum home the message that Christianity is unpatriotic, outdated, and Western in origin. Well, of course Christianity is unpatriotic. Being a Christian, your loyalty goes to Christ. Hence the base word of the title, Christian. It's Christ. Your loyalties go to Christ. It has nothing to do with being patriotic. Official communications drum home the message that okay, I read that part. Growing numbers of evangelicals are being targeted and arrested. They face charges of belonging to cults, being corrupt, or engaged in illegal religious activity. Leaders and members of unregistered churches have been taken in by the authorities for questioning. Many young people, teachers, and parents are told religion will harm their education and they should report anyone involved in such activities. Doesn't that kind of sound like the U.S. right now? Rat people out is what they say, right? Rat them out. There have also been reports of job offerings being withdrawn from applicants who express their Christian beliefs. Release International's China partner says, please pray for Christians who are arrested and imprisoned because of their refusal to deny Christ. Pray for excellent Christian resources to reach pastors and leaders to equip them to lead their congregation. especially those that must divide into small groups. And, I really have to give, credit where credit's due for these Christians in China who are not budging. I mean, compared to all the churches in 2020 when the whole country was the whole world was locked up. You had so many churches fold. So many. Here in this communist country, you have some churches that don't budge, man, and I got to give credit where credit's due to them. India. Persecution is set to mount in India in 2023. I didn't even know they had Christians in India. For Hindu extremist groups, radical Hindus appeared increasingly emboldened by the dominance of the nation's right-wing BJP government. More states are passing anti-conversion laws. Karnataka followed suit in September. There are concerns that a national law to limit the right to convert may follow. As intolerance rises, reports of violent attacks against pastors and congregations continue. This is just going to heat up even more, man. And I'm talking about around the world. So I asked you before I even read any of this, are you ready? Are you ready for this? I'm trying to prepare every day for this. I pray for that strength and I pray for that courage at whatever the cost may be. We have to prepare for this. We expected this, right? We expected this. The Evangelical Fellowship of India report 200 attacks on Christians in just the first 5 months of 2022. And over the recent Christmas period, there were reports of Hindu supremacists burning effigies of Santa Claus. Well, they can go ahead and burn effigies of Santa Claus because that ain't Christian. I'm okay with that. Which they equate with Christianity. It's not Christian. Santa Claus has nothing to do with true biblical Christianity. So they can go ahead and do that. And chanting death to, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but you can see it right there on the screen for yourself. Release International's partners say there are long-term serious medical needs among those who have been badly beaten. They also highlight a growing need for Bibles, particularly in rural areas. They say, please pray for protection for Christians, especially pastors and church leaders. Pray for courage to preserve in an increasingly hostile environment and pray for an end to the anti-conversion laws. Iran. Well, to be honest, the persecution of Christians in the Middle East has been going on for a long time. My stepfather, his parents were they're from Syria. They were Christian Syrians. So he would tell me what the stuff that they would go through when they were living in Syria. Not him, but his parents. Persecution has been increasing in Iran, where resistance is growing to the hardline Islamic laws imposed by the regime. Iran has been convulsed by protests and calls for increased freedom. The state continues to clamp down on perceived dissent, including among its Christian minority, and is set to tighten its grip on Christian believers in 2023. Release International's partners describe a wave of persecution against those who have converted. They say there is obviously a campaign to stop the spread of Christianity, to arrest those who are leading house churches and engage in evangelism, and teaching. In 2022, the Iranian authorities targeted Christian involved in any kind of ministry. Longer prison sentences are being given to some Christian workers. There is no doubt the government of Iran is concerned that disillusioned Muslims are becoming Christians. But I would even say that there has been a merging of Christian and Muslim faith. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Chrislam, but they're merging the two together. So it's something that I've heard about. Never really did any digging into if that's something that's really going on, but I've heard that it's a combination of both religions, which is not biblical, right? The authorities are aware of the growth in the house churches and are determined to stem that. Their overall goal is to eliminate the Persian-speaking church and only allow Christian minority groups to operate. Release International's partners are calling for prayer for the protection of house churches. Believers are having to meet in smaller groups than before. Man, that sentence right there is going to be so true soon with Christians in general, no matter where you're at in the world. You're just going to have... I honestly believe that you're going to have your own little group of Bible believers, man. At the rate of the changes that are going on in this entire world, it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. Christian satellite programs on social media are a lifeline for many. Also, pray for those in prison because of the ministry, especially those with legendary sentences, that they may stay strong and faithful as witnesses. Ooh, Afghanistan, Malaysia, Africa, man. Well, let's see what's going on in Afghanistan there. The effect of the Taliban takeover in August 2021 have been felt more keenly in 2022. The Taliban's hardline stance became increasingly apparent along with an upsurge in violence. The repressive attitude toward women's education and the decision to turn a blind eye to attacks on the Shia Muslim minority is flowing over to other groups considered to be different. These include, of course, Christians, both local and foreign. Many Afghan Christians have fled the country or are living temporarily in neighboring countries such as Pakistan or Iran. Those who remain have gone into hiding. Without community support networks, they are disproportionately affected by earthquakes, the failing economy, and impending famine. Christians who have fled to Pakistan run the risk of discovery. Muslim background believers there live in constant fear of betrayal, exposure, and attack. Malaysia. Churches have suffered disproportionately from CV restrictions. Those who have spoken out about the delay reopening of churches have been silenced with warnings of imprisonment. Man, crazy. Release International Partners says persecution is increasing as the government plans to form an Islamic nation. Well, Malaysia is an Islamic nation already. So I don't think I have to go into Africa because Nigeria is part of Africa, so I went through that already. But let's go here. This one is interesting too. This right here, this is in Israel. Believe it or not, Christians are being persecuted in Israel too. Check this out. So this comes from persecution.org. Article reads, Christians, Messianic Jays. Missionaries face hostility from Jays radicals in Israel. And this was just last month. Christian Messianic Jays and missionaries face increasing hostility from Jay radicals in Israel. Recently, activists from the, let me blow this up, man, my eyes, the Hava organization and the Lakim organization physically attempted to block persons from attending a convention of Messianic Jays in Jerusalem. Israeli law enforcement responded to the scene to disperse the activists and endure the event's safety, leading to one activist's arrest. The Lehava and Lakim organizations oppose Christian presence and proselytization in Israel. Pardon me. This comes as the deputy mayor of Jerusalem, Uriah King, recently led a group of religious Jays chanting, "Missionaries go home," as a group of Christians gathered by the Western Wall for a prayer event. King opposed allowing Christian missionaries to hold a Christian worship and ceremony designed to prepare a missionary effort directed at Israeli residents. King also stated that he did not oppose Christian presence in Israel per se, but rather Christian proselytization. While there have been occasional incidents of hostility and even violence towards Christians in Israel, there has been a rise in recent months. Some analysts assess that the rise in hostility and violence is tied to the current Israeli ruling coalition, which is largely supported by radical factions strongly protective of the Israeli Orthodox Jays character and opposed to Christianity in the public square. Some senior Israeli figures have condemned violence against Christians, including statements by the chief Sephardic rabbi of Jerusalem and the leader of the opposition party in the Jerusalem city government. These incidents come amid ongoing civil unrest in Israel as protests against proposed judicial reforms by the current Israeli government have caused widespread disruptions. You know, I even heard that they were trying to pass a law that if you were spreading the gospel, that you get arrested. And if you're a minor and you were caught doing that, you get double the time an adult would. That's crazy, man. It's crazy. This is the times that we're living in right now. You know, we're going to be persecuted. Before I go any further, let me see what's going on here on the chats. I see some activity here, man. Ooh. Let me just put that there for now. Let's see. What's going on, AJ Blunt? What's going on, Takirika Styles? I haven't seen either of you guys in a while, but then again, I haven't been on for over a week. I've been busy trying to redo my whole show, sort of. I got an outro. I got an outro. Happy Sabbath to you as well, Takirika Styles. I'm sorry, I'm just reading. I'm just reading these things right now. Takirika says, anyone who doesn't have Christ in their life is good to be unhappy. Everybody hates Raymond says, misery loves company indeed. Making you feel like crap is their pick me up. I wouldn't say it's a pick me. It's more of a, I don't want to be down here by myself. So it's more of a pulling down as opposed to it being a pick me up. they want you to be drug in the mud just like them. They want company being drug in the mud, having a miserable life, having a life that's so empty. What's going on, Q&A holes on the Foxhole side? Thanks for being here. Everybody hates Raymond says, my lovely, in quotes, Christian neighbors love talking crap about each other. Next door neighbor cornered me the other day talking crap about the people next door to him. I really don't care to hear about it. Is he a Christian? But let's be honest about this. I mean, we're all guilty of something like that. We all are. It's just human nature, and I'm not saying that I'm not giving an excuse that it's okay to do it. I'm just saying, because we're of the flesh, things like that tend to happen. Sometimes without you even thinking about it, just happens. It's the fleshly nature that we have. We just tend to do things without even giving thought to it. The world is becoming a lot more petty. I would say that the world is becoming a lot more dumber and dumber by the day. Yeah. What's the latest thing I just saw yesterday? I saw this astrophysicist. You guys probably know who I'm talking about. DeGrasse or something like that. He doesn't even know what a male or a female is. You know what I mean? And this dude's an astrophysicist. So I would say that the world's becoming dumber and dumber. And these people are just willingly becoming dumber and dumber. Something as simple as a dead squirrel laying in the front of the yard between our two properties. He's accusing the people next door of throwing. Oh, geez. That is pretty petty. Takira says, who rats thine out? Hey, man, I'm just saying that this country is definitely mirroring China almost by the minute, because the minute you say something that disagrees with people on the left in particular, man, you get all sorts of attacks, man. You're shut down. You get struck on your social media platforms. You get banned. You get all the good stuff that comes with it, man. You get attacked. So yeah, yeah, they can have Christmas, right? Yeah, Neil, there you go. Neil deGrasse. Yeah, that's the one. That's the dude. Yeah. Snake in grass. What's going on, Crimson Sky? Nice to see you. Okay, so let me go ahead and let me share this other one right here. So I shared, that's Israel. Okay? That's Israel persecuting Christians. Now, let's go to China. Okay? So this right here blew my mind, because I think I've heard this from another Christian channel. And he was talking about how China is planning on rewriting the Bible. This is crazy, man. This is, I guess China feels that they can do whatever they want, man. You know? Somebody's going to have to answer to that at some point when judgment comes. I don't think that's going to be a judgment that I want to be able to, like, I don't want to answer for something like that. So this comes from persecution.org. And article reads, Chinese Communist Party government rewrites portions of the Bible. Let's read this. It's a short article. And this was just last month. A few weeks ago. The Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, government is rewriting portions of the Bible in an effort to increase its control over religion in country. It's funny how they use religion. Because atheists, they typically don't identify themselves as a, quote, religious person, right? Even though atheism is religion. According to U.S. Representative Mike Gallagher, in a meeting of the White House or of the House Select Committee on the CCP, Representative Gallagher stated that Chairman Xi is on a quest to make the faithful serve the party rather than God. Gallagher referenced the statement from Chairman Xi during the 19th Party Congress in 2017 that declares the intent to pursue the Sinicization of Chinese religions and provide active guidance for religion and socialism to coexist. Okay, I think we all understand that that's not going to work. Religion and socialism, unless you make socialism the religion, both can't coexist as two separate entities. Socialism is going to have to become the religion if that's the case, right? Besides attempting to control Christian doctrine and practice, the CCP is persecuting other Buddhist and Muslim ethnic minorities, according to Representative Gallagher. The CCP sees itself as possessing absolute authority over religion in China. For example, in 2018, the Vatican compromised with the CCP on the prerogative to appoint Roman Catholic clergy in China. That's interesting. Multiple sources have warned that the CCP aims to select the next Dalai Lama, the supreme leader of Tibetan Buddhism. Thus, the CCP forcing the church to be subservient to the state infringes the Western conception of religious liberty, which is founded on the Christian understanding of the church and the state as distinct institutions ordained by God. Gallagher cited two cases of the CCP rewriting portions of the Bible. The first from the account in the Gospel of John of Jesus telling the woman caught in adultery to go and from now on sin no more, after telling the scribes and Pharisees, "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her." Apparently that's from the ESV, John 8:3-11. A textbook from a Chinese university appeared in 2020 with the account from the Gospel of John rewritten, check this out, to end with, check this out, man. This right here is mind-blowing. Instead of him saying to the lady, "Go and sin no more," you know what he did? It says here, Jesus himself stoning the adulterous woman to death, according to Gallagher. So after he told the scribes and Pharisees that if you are without sin, to go ahead and cast the first stone, and the story is like they left because they knew that they were full of sin, and he, Jesus, tells the woman, pretty much to go and go without sin. But in the Chinese version, as soon as these scribes and Pharisees leave, he stones the woman to death. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. The second is a report that CCP authorities in Henan province forced Protestant churches to replace the 10 Commandments with Xi quotes. What? Changing the first commandment from, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Okay, that's from Exodus 23, KJV. They're going to change it. They apparently they want it. Either they changed it or they're going to change it to, quote, resolutely guard against the infiltration of Western ideology. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. This is like adding text or taking away text to a comedic level, man. This is a comedic level to me. This is blasphemous, yes. But it's comedy. Like, how can you do I see it as comedy because are you trying to replace God? Is that what you're trying to do here? Because you do realize that if you as a human being try to get up to the level of challenging God, I think you're going to lose that battle. Bad. This is outrageous though, huh? But this is 2023. This is the days we're living in right now. This right here, this time right now, this is where we're living at. 2 Christian pastors at the congressional meeting testified on persecution in China, noting that many Chinese pastors and Christians are undeterred. International Christian Concern recently published a report describing the growth of the underground church in Iran. We were just talking about that. Where government repression seems to cause the church to grow rather than stifle it. As the early church father Tertullian wrote, the blood of a martyr is the seed of the church. Wow. Isn't that crazy, guys? I never thought, man. Look. Even before me coming into this relationship with Christ, way before, when I didn't even have God in my mind, thinking about how important it is to have a relationship with Him, even before that, I never thought that we'd see the day where people would be actually changing. I mean, granted, there's different translations of scriptures that do kind of change certain writings in the Bible, but this takes it to a whole new level, man. This is a whole new level of blasphemy. I mean, we've seen the concerts, we've seen the movies, we've seen the music videos, we've even heard the music. But having to rewrite the scriptures to make the country's government religion, that is crazy. Okay, I can get writing your own, right? You write your own. You're making it up. But no, they're taking the Bible, they're taking the living word of God, and they're changing it. Man, I don't know what to say about these things. All I can say is that, man, you got some nuts on you, man, because I wouldn't even think about doing something like that. Just the thought of that would never cross my mind. But man, these world leaders, they're being bold, man. They're lucky that the God that we serve, the biblical God that we serve, he's a very, very patient God. But these fools just keep testing him and pushing it to see how far they can go. Because let's be honest, like, if God was an absolute just God, right? If we were to live by the laws of God without this is, I'm talking about Old Testament times, right? Without without Christ sacrificing himself for us. If we were to live like that, where God would just kind of zap us for just get rid of us for the sins that we commit, man, there wouldn't be anybody left in this world. There wouldn't be anybody left in this world. We have a patient God. And a lot of people don't understand or realize that. And so, these people who are in these particular positions of, I don't know, power, I guess you can say. I don't like to say that they have power over me, because there's only one. There's only one who has ultimate power over me, and that's my Savior. But these arrogant leaders who equate themselves to a God, little g, of course, this takes it to another level, man. And I'm sad for them that they don't understand. They don't know the characteristics of our loving Father, our patient Father. They don't know his characteristics. And because what they may perceive that he's not doing anything about what they're doing, that they're just going to keep on pushing the envelope even further, they may be able to do that now, but I guarantee you, man, when judgment does come, the punishment that they receive, they brought that upon themselves. Man, even for me, like I was talking about how I would fail in fasting, right? I couldn't, I think the longest I've done was like a day and a half. Even with that, man, I feel bad. I feel like I did something wrong. Or even when I'm having these lustful thoughts, or when I feel anger towards somebody, those things, I feel like really like, oh man, I better not do that. But these people, man, because they've been in a position of, quote, power in this world, that they're so arrogant, I don't think they realize. I don't think they realize that they're whatever punishment that they're going to get, they're the ones who are bringing that upon themselves. They're bringing everything that we do here, we bring it upon ourselves. God doesn't say, "Oh, you're going to be bad. You He didn't do that. We choose the path that we want to go towards. And, I'm going to go out on a limb and say something like this, because I think, at least for me, walking on when I was doing a lot of sinful stuff without even caring about having a relationship with God, or if I was doing anything wrong, having to walk that path was probably one of the best things in my life. And the reason why I say that is because I'm able to learn from that. I'm able to understand where that path could lead you to. It was absolute death, man. And I think a lot of people who are like me, who did not have a relationship for the longest time, when we finally get to this point where we're shown who our true person is, by God, of course, and when we start to realize the things that we've done and how destructive they were, not only to ourselves, but affecting the people who loved us the most, how much it affected them, and to be shameful for all. I think going through things like that, for me, and I think a lot of people out there too that are really serious about their relationship with Christ, that used to live very simple lives, they appreciate it more. They appreciate it more. They appreciate all the struggles, the hard times, all the sinful ways. They appreciate it because they're able to see the true mercy of our Father. Unlike these people who continuously decide that they don't want to see because they're in a position of power or they just don't know. But for me, because I've walked a sinful life, and man, I mean, I'm not going to say that I've done anything major, but there are a lot of things that I've done that I look at myself and, man, you're disgusting, man. The way you used to treat people too. How much you were so into yourself, not even, at least with that type of past, I'm grateful for, because it reminds me, it's a constant reminder that I don't ever want to go back to that ever again. Do I tend to slip from time to time? Yeah, but it's nothing compared to what I used to be. It's nothing compared to what I used to be. And I'm glad, especially on that particular day where that reflection of myself was shown to myself. Looking back, man, I don't dwell on it. Don't get me wrong, I don't dwell in it. It's a constant reminder, though. It's a constant reminder of what I used to be like, and I don't. Not only that, but, as a parent, I definitely want to guide my children in the right way. Look, I'm not going to say as an excuse that I didn't have parents to guide me. I had half a parent. Okay? But I'm not going to use any of those things as an excuse. What I will say is that I'm actually glad that it happened that way, because I'm able to become a better parent now. And everything that I've been through as a child, I don't want my children going through that. So it's been it's been a priceless lesson for me. And I don't use it as a crutch. I don't play this victim card. But I do say to myself, like, man, I don't want to be a horrible parent. I don't want to be a horrible person. Not only that, but if I see any of my children kind of slip up, like, I can see that a mile away, because you can't fool me. Like, I've walked in those shoes before, so you can't fool me. But most of all, I'm grateful for all the things that God has put me through, especially the bad times, because it definitely molded me to the person that I am today. It's made me have a relationship with Him. It's made me to be more bold and talk about Him. I use that as fuel to dish out my life experiences, to share the gospel so that nobody out there makes the same mistake. Or even if you're in the middle of making those mistakes, because you're able to wake up today, because you were able to wake up yesterday, and because you could possibly be waking up tomorrow, you still have a chance. You still have a chance. With you breathing right now, you still have a chance. But you have to meet God halfway. At least that. You have to make your effort. It doesn't magically just happen. You know what I mean? You just don't, not in a snap of a finger, you just don't have a relationship in a snap of a finger. There is a part of you that needs to go meet Him halfway. It's free will. We have a choice. Don't miss out. All I got to say is just don't miss out. The road may be long suffering. The persecution may be for a long time, at least in the time of this world. But I don't think it's going to be like that afterwards. I don't believe it's going to be like this after this. Let me see what's going on here in the chats real quick. Hey, what's going on, Axiom Descent? What's going on, brother? Nice to see you. Sister Teresa, nice to see you. WTH, what are they going to say our pronouns are? I don't even think about that, man. Can you imagine somebody of that community saying, when they're in judgment, right? When the book of life is opened up, if your name is either going to be there or not, and the person says, no, excuse me, I'm a him, he, they, or whatever the case may be. Can you imagine that? Man, if I was in line, like let's say in judgment, right? Like I don't know how it's going to be, but let's just say for I don't know, imagination's sake, right? Like let's say you're in line, right? Let's say you're in line and for judgment. The book of life is opened up. Is your name going to be there or not? So God's saying, okay, state your case. He's turned the pages of your life. He's trying to see if you'll tell the truth about all the sins that you have committed. And then God says to the person, calls them by their actual pronoun, right? And then the person being judged who's in that alphabet, no, God. My pronoun is this. Corrects God. Can you imagine that? Man, that'd be crazy, dude. If I was the person behind that person, oh my goodness. It'll be, I don't know. I'll be covering my eyes and say to me, oh man, what are you doing, dude? Oh man. What's going on, Luke Donelli? Haven't seen you in a minute. How you been? Thanks for being here. Everybody hates Raymond says false teachers and gods are God's judgment on people who don't want God, but in the name of religion plan on getting everything their carnal heart desires. Yeah, good old Osteen, huh? Smiley Joel. The guy with the big smile. Mr. Prosperity Gospel. That's why a Joel Osteen is raised up. Those people who sit under him are not victims of him. He is the judgment of God upon. Oh, that's a good way. That's a good angle. I never thought about it that way. He is the judgment of God upon them because they wanted exactly what he wants, and it's not God. You know, people need to understand this, and I think I've talked about this before. Being in this journey, right? It's a beautiful thing to have to be in communion with Christ every day. I pray every day, man. I'm grateful for one. I'm very grateful that he wakes me up every day, right? He's blessed me with an awesome family, and he's allowed me to have this relationship with him. But man, I hate it when I lose my train of thought. But let me try to think what I was gonna say. Oh gosh, I can't believe this happens to me all the time. You know, the older I get, I tend to forget things real quick. I lost my train of thought. So much for doing live streams, man. Jeez, that's not good. Anyways, let me just move on. Oh man, I'm embarrassed. Anyhow, Luke Donnelly says, we are all bad, but those who seek their heart towards God will have redemption and forgiveness. Without him, none are God. Without him, none are God. So if we don't set our heart to him, we will only grow more insane. Okay, I remembered what I was going to say. So check this out. I've always said that this is an awesome thing to be in communion with God, right? You walk the path. You know, he blesses you with life every day. He'll throw you a bone every now and then that to him it's very little, but to you it's like really big. But you understand, especially after reading today's random read, and especially after reading some of the articles that I shared with you guys, you need to understand that because we're in this world right now, being in this journey is not easy. It's not easy. Is it beautiful? Yes. But it's not easy. Not easy in a sense that you fight temptation every day. Most of the times, at least for me, I lose that temptation. And my flesh gives in. I give in. Most of the time I give in. I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, granted, I don't do a lot of the other stupid things I used to do. Those stupid things are not even, they're not even close to the things that close to the sins that I commit now are nothing compared to what I used to do, okay? If there was a level of which sin is more worse than the other. But nonetheless, I still sin, okay? Pardon me. For one, you're fighting sin every single day. You're fighting sin every single day. For two, the people that you surround yourself with sometimes, and it doesn't matter who it is, especially from the people that you hold really close to your heart, that you love so much and you care about. And I read it, right? Matter of fact, let me read it again. Just as a reminder, let me read it again, okay? We need to be reminded about this from time to time. This is from Matthew chapter 10, verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. So that in itself right there should tell you that this is a very, very difficult journey. Because the people that you love the most could be the same people to give you an ultimatum. They'll probably tell you you're either going to choose us or you're going to choose God. Man. Just me having to say something like that gives me chills. That's a hard decision for me to make. I know what the right decision is. I know what the right decision is. But this is part of the whole thing of being in this journey. You have to make decisions like that. You may have to make a decision in between that. If your family's not all in with you on this journey, and believe me, I know the difficulty of that. But I pray about it every day. Because I don't want to have to make that choice. It's a hard thing to choose. Logically speaking, it's a very simple decision to make. Logically speaking, right? With my mind, it's a very easy decision to make. Like, yeah, I'm going with God. But because we are of the flesh, it's a hard decision to make. And I think in the time of revelation, I think we're going to be faced with these kind of decisions as judgment comes closer. And I hate to even bring up something like that because that's a hard thing for me to think about. But it's one of those things that comes with having a relationship with Christ is you need you got to think about these things. Yeah, you got to think about, one thing when I was doing police work, I'd always think about certain scenarios and what I would do. Just to think about them, just to prepare myself mentally. And now I'm beginning to think that I have to do the same thing with this life, with this journey that I'm walking. It's I don't want to, but it's a necessary thing that you need to think about. Because where else will the devil plant his own seeds in order for you to destroy your relationship with Christ? Where else would he put it? He'll put it as close to you as possible. And who are the people who are closest to you as possible? Is your family. That's just the truth, man. It's a hard choice. But we got to mentally prepare ourselves. So that's what I've been doing. I've been mentally preparing myself for that too. And I really don't want to. But that's part of what being in communion with Christ is. That's part of having your relationship with him is you're putting him as number one. You're not putting you as number one. Not like these worldly leaders. They're putting themselves as number one. That's hard, man. But you got to run that through your head multiple times. Sink it in. Because when that moment comes where you need to make that choice, and I tell you, man, part of my prayer is to have that strength and courage to make the right decision. Not just to, defend my family or anything like that, but also to make the right decisions, man. It's a very difficult thing to think about. Really is. Really is. Let's see here. What? Forgetfulness is actually a sign of an overactive. Yeah, right. uh, sure, I'll take it, but I don't think so. It's not that it's going in too many directions. I think I just lost my train of thought. Everybody hates Raymond says not easy because you can't give folks the joy you feel in salvation, but you want everyone to. Yeah, and this is the reason why I do these things, man. This is one of the reasons why I get on YouTube and whatever platform I'm in. This is the reason why, is because I want people to know that whatever it is that you think that you're going through in your life, this is you're going about it all wrong. You're going about it all wrong. And I really hate when people try to spin that and say, "Oh, that's your reality." I'm like, "What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? It's my reality. If I'm not the only one who's experiencing this thing with having a relationship with Christ, it's not my quote my reality. This is exactly how it's supposed to be." This, sharing God's word is an awesome thing. And I wish more people would do it. I know there's some people out there who would love to, but I don't know, maybe for some odd reason they're scared. Look, I'm going to say this too. I'm going to say this because I've said this many times before where I wasn't the one, man. I was not the one. I was not the one to be talking about God either in person, or behind a mic or anything like that. Me, if you knew me, if you knew who I was personally, you'd be like, "No way, I don't believe that." Me? Now, I think I've invited my mom like maybe once or twice to listen to this, but she don't want to. She don't want to. And I think I've invited like a couple aunts or something. Even some friends who I used to work with, they don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear this. But it's unfortunate because the things that you think you're going through as a struggle is making you depressed. You think that, but when you're in communion and you see these little things that God these little things that God throws out to you. I mean, when he throws little things out to me, it's a big deal to me because it came from him. And those little things make me feel so much joy. Maybe little to somebody else, maybe little to God himself, but to me, because it came from him, it's a direct gift to me. And that in itself is special. That's a big deal. And to be able to go up to him every day and just talk to him casually, like I'm talking to you right now. He allowed me to do this. He allowed me to be able to have communion with him after all the stuff that I've been through, as far as like not wanting a relationship with him. I'm grateful. I could be at a more difficult time than I'm going through right now, but I'm not. I could be homeless. I'm not. He's giving me just enough. Treading water, but just enough. That's all I need. Be nice to have a little bit more, but hey, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about just having a great relationship with Christ and being able to talk to people about what you experience to prove to, it's a testimony, man. Like, you try to share these things with people, but people just, They refuse to believe because they did. We've been all programmed all wrong, man. We've been taught so many things all wrong. All of it. Even, it's sad to say, even people who, quote, been going to church for years or grew up in a, quote, church, who hate going to church now, going about it all wrong, man. This has nothing to do with, quote, religion. This is all a relationship with Christ. It's a direct relationship, man. It's a direct relationship. Let's see. I think that's all I got right now. I wasn't really planning on staying too long anyway, because I still have things I got to do for the channel. Man, I'm trying to make this a cool channel. I'm watching other content creators. I'm like, man, their channel looks so cool. Days of Noah he's got a really cool channel, man. And I'd like to kind of create a channel kind of like that, but you know, he's good, man. He's got a very good creative mind. If he's the one who's doing all that stuff with the intros and all that stuff, he's got a very creative mind, man. God has blessed him with a creative mind. But I know I'm just trying to build my own style. Anyhow, let's go ahead and top it off with scriptures. We'll read 2 chapters of Genesis, and then I'm gonna call it a day for today. And it may be another week, because, man, I'm trying to do all these things for this channel, man. You know, I'd like to get more people to come in, and I know part of that is having an attractive channel. That's what I'm trying to do. Appreciate that, everybody hates Raymond. Really appreciate that. Thank you. All right, I'm going to share. All right, I think the last time we stopped was at Genesis chapter 35. So we'll top it off at 37. We'll finish chapter 37. After that, I got to prepare for Sabbath, man, because I don't have a gig tonight. I don't have a gig tomorrow. So I'm going to be celebrating Sabbath. I would ask if you guys could stay for the outro, because I changed it. Give me feedback on it. Put it in the comment section. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't liked, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, please do so. As it helps the channel, you know, with the algos. I'd appreciate all the help I can get from you guys. The main thing here about this channel is just, this is a fellowship channel. I'm not here to become famous, because this is definitely not going to make me famous, right? At least in this world. Talking about God ain't going to get you famous unless you're like Joel Osteen and all that stuff, but that's not me. Nor am I here to take any of your money. You know, whatever money donations you give, that's because you decided that you wanted to. You found it in your heart that God impressed you to do it. I don't ever ask for that stuff. I do, though, have a merch store. If you guys want to get some cool stuff, feel free to, you know, that's one of the ways that you can support this place. But anyhow, let me go ahead and read here chapter 36 and 37, and we'll top it off with the outro. Hopefully, I will just say this: the outro is a story of how I came to be here in this behind this mic. Pretty much what it is. I did the video. I did the music. I'm gonna brag just a little bit. Anyhow, let me read. I don't want to lose you guys. Genesis chapter 36. Let me see if it's on the screen. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wife of the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon, and Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon, the Hivite, and Bashemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nabajoth, and Adah, bare to Esau, Eliphaz, and Bashemath bare Ruel. And Aholibamah, I'm going to be killing these names, bare Jewish, right? That's how you say his name. And Jalem and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives, and his sons, and his daughters, and all the persons of his house, and his cattle, and all his beasts, and all his substance, which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. For their riches were more than that they might dwell together. And the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Ruel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz. And Tema was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Ruel, Nahath, and Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife. And she bare to Esau Jewish, and Jalem, and Korah. These were dukes of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau: Duke Teman, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kenaz, Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Adah. And these are the sons of Ruel, Esau's son: Duke Nahath, Duke Zerah, Duke Shammah, Duke Mizah. These are the dukes that came of Ruel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife: Duke Jewish, Duke Jalem, Duke Korah. These were the dukes that came of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir, the Horite, who inhabited the land: Lotan and Shobal, and Zibeon and Anna, and Dishon and Ezer, and Dishan. And these are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. And the children of Lotan were Hori and Heman. And Lotan's sister was Timnah. And the children of Shobal were these: Alvan, and Manahath, and Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. And these are the children of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anna. This was that Anna that found the mules in the wilderness as he fed the asses of Zibeon his father. And the children of Anna were these: Dishan and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna. And these are the children of Dishan: Hemdan, and Eshban, and Ithran, and Chiran. The children of Ezer are these: Bilhan, and Zavan, and Akan. The children of Dishan are these: Uz and Aran. These are the dukes that came of the Horites: Duke Lotan, Duke Shobal, Duke Zibeon, Duke Anna, Duke Dishan, Duke Ezer, Duke Dishan. These are the dukes that came of Hori, among their dukes in the land of Seir. These are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom, before they reigned any king over the children of Israel. And Bela the son of Beor reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And Bela died, and Jobab the son of Zerah of Bozrah resigned in his stead. And Jobab died, and Husham the land of Temani reigned in his stead. And Husham died, and Hadad the son of Bedad, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Avith. And Hadad died, and Samlah of Masrekah resigned in his stead. And Samlah died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead. And Saul died, and Baalhanan the son of Akbar reigned in his stead. And Baalhanan the son of Akbar died, and Hadar reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Pau, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezahab. These are the names of the dukes that came of Esau, according to their families, after their places, by their names: Duke Timnah, Duke Alva, Duke Jetheth, Duke I'm killing these names. Duke Aholibamah, Duke Ella, Duke Pinon, Duke Kenaz, Duke Teman, Duke Mizbar, Duke Magdiel, Duke Eram. These be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations in the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. All right, let's tap it off with 37. Once again, I want to thank you guys for your patience with with pronouncing these names. Dukes of Hazzard. Oh, man. Come on, man. You changing scriptures there, bro. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Blow this up, man. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably to him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed, For behold, we are binding sheaves in the field. And lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood about round about, and made obeisance of my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And his brethren envied him. But his father observed the saying, and his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here I am, or here am I. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flock. And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. Man, this is brothers, man. We all know the story. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit. And we will say, Some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. Okay, I'm going to pause. Validation right here, dude. We were just talking about this, man. We were just talking about how it is people who are the closest to us that are going. They're the ones who are going to be, you know what I'm talking about. The devil plants his seed as close as possible to you, so that it'll be very difficult for you to make your decision. This validates it right here with this, man. It's only God who can shoot these messages out, man, the way he does. I wasn't planning on talking about something like that, but it was a topic of discussion, and it was part of the random read. And now here we are again, talking about how Joseph's brothers betrayed him. Crazy, isn't it? And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat, and his coat of many colors that was on him. Just talking about this, man. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead, with their camels being spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Man, this is hard, man. This is hard because it's already being foretold to us. It's already being foretold to us. It's been foretold many times. There are many things in scriptures that has been foretold in the Old Testament that came true in the New Testament. And even with those things being foretold then, are happening now. The Bible's an amazing book. Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren and said, The child is not, and I whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, We have found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. Man, his father was heartbroken, man. The culprits were the brothers, man. They lied to him. They lied to his father. Man, you see how this is like multiple, it's affecting multiple people. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted. And he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, and captain of the guard. All right, we're going to save 38 for the next time. Just leaving it there, but let's go here. Once again, I thank you guys for being here. What a way to end it with that particular scripture read, because we talked about it with the book of Matthew, right? We kind of touched on it too about are you mentally prepared to make a decision between God and your family? It's one of those things that run through my mind all the time. So I can just make a decision without thought. It's a hard thing to think about. It really is. But the thought is there. The thought is there. It's one of those things you're probably going to have to put into your mind mentally to make a decision. It's a hard thing. That's one of the hardest thing about being in this journey with with Christ. That there may be a time where you have to make a decision between the Almighty or your family. Anyhow, I thank you guys again for being here. My intro is different, so I don't have any outgoing words to say to you guys, except, of course, what I typically said before. There are many ways to pick people up. You can feed the hungry, give water to those who thirst, clothe the people who are naked, talk to the people who are lonely. But most of all, and most importantly, to pray for everybody who's in need of prayer, which is everybody. The people you know, your family members, people you don't know, but most of all, for those people who have done you wrong. That one day they may see the light and be wise, that they give their life to Christ and walk in this narrow path and become close to Him. So, hope you guys enjoy this outro. I hope I did a good job. But, hey, let's see how it goes. And I'll see you guys on the next one. God bless you guys. Take care and be good to each other out there, okay?